Now viewers, our focus remains on in fact the ties between India and Bangladesh, where India has started fencing its border with Bangladesh in the Sukhdevpur area of the Malda district in West Bengal. This has sparked tensions between India's border security force, the BSF, and the border guard Bangladesh. The BSF had begun installing the fence, prompting objections from the BGB. However, the BSF dismissed these concerns, stating that the fencing is being constructed within the Indian territory. Notably, the fencing work along the India-Bangladesh border is progressing steadily. Viewers, when it comes to sharing the borders with the Bangladesh, India shares 4,096 kilometers of border with Bangladesh, and notably, West Bengal alone shares a 2,216 kilometer long border with Bangladesh. A major portion of this remains unfenced. This unfenced border area witnesses issues like smuggling and infiltration. These problems have intensified amidst political turmoil in Bangladesh and concerns over the fall of Sheikh Hasina's government. Consequently, India has accelerated its effort to secure the border because of the vast and the challenging terrain of India-Bangladesh border. Fencing is very difficult. Fencing work is very difficult, and notably, the border spans across 5 Indian states, and tensions have risen in the recent days. In response, BSF and the BGB officials held flag meetings to address the situation. But before we get into the discussion, let's try to understand the India-Bangladesh border scenario. Now, let's also take a look, in fact, at how the issue has been brought after the India-Bangladesh border looks like. As in fact, viewers, you can see this is the region where the Bangladesh territory has been marked, and this is the West Bengal region, which is a part of India. And these are the states which touch, in fact, the border of Bangladesh, the two neighboring nations, with also the northeastern states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, and in fact, these places touching the border of Bangladesh. As in fact, on the map, this is pretty clear as of this is the border length of where the states do touch with West Bengal. In fact, this is how it has come. Now, West Bengal shares, the India-Bangladesh shares the 5th longest border in the world with, in fact, India shares that of with Bangladesh, as this is the marker of this border, which is 2,216.7 kilometers long, which is the 5th longest border that India shares with Bangladesh in the entire world, with also these states touching upon Bangladesh. And that is why these are the issues, viewers, that often are seen of infiltration in these other northeastern states. The largest land port in South Asia is what you can see in this picture. The land port Petrapole is located along the India-Bangladesh border. That Bangladesh border area of the 5th longest is one of these, in fact, regions where you can see the largest land port in Southern Asia, where the pictures do give an extent about the vastness of this land port. Now, when we are talking about the land port Petrapole, which is roughly 80 kilometers away from the city of Kolkata, not that far, and it in fact is on the very border land, very borders area where India and Bangladesh are very closely associated. As in fact, we move on further, 22 lakh people cross the borders annually via the land port Petrapole. The kind of in fact movement between India and Bangladesh can be understood by how porous exactly the system of transportation is also. The number that is given here is also pretty large in terms of for the business and economic and the wage issues as well, that people from Bangladesh also do enter into India through legal routes, and these are in fact the pictures of how does the immigration also looks like. The India-Bangladesh border area activity at the land port Petrapole is defined in this chart. Let's quickly take a look from the year 2018 to 19, where the cargo movement is in fact nearly 1,63,000 over, where the passenger count, the movement of the passenger count is over 23 lakhs. When we move further to year, in fact 2019 and 2020, the number has increased with 24 lakhs of passengers coming, where the cargo movement of other properties and of other goods and services, it is nearly also at 1,55,000. Not much difference there though. When we move further in the next financial year 22-21, which is in fact at this point of time 1,94,000. This was during COVID, and that is why it must have been exactly been lowered down. The cargo movement, however, remains near about the number that the past several years have been looking at. When we are talking about, in fact, this data, the largest number, as you can see on the screens, is in the last year, 23 lakh. And over 23 lakh people, the movement between both the nations through the land port Petrapole, while the cargo movement also seemingly is around 1 lakh, over 1,50,000 is the number. All right, my colleague Renik is joining me live on the broadcast. Renik, now the developments that we are fetching in this regard of what is happening on the India-Bangladesh border, BSF and the BGB interaction, in fact, also with the fencing being heightened. What is the latest that you are picking up from the border area, and how exactly severely these issues are also being impacted as the border movement is also given specifically, given the time also is going on?
देखिए, लगातार एक साल के जो टाइम पीरियड था, इस एक साल के अंदर में बीएसएफ की तरफ से टोटल 20 जगह को ब्लैक स्पॉट डिक्लेयर किया गया है बांग्लादेश भारत बॉर्डर में। जो पश्चिम बंगाल का सीमा है उसमें 20 जगह को मार्क किया गया है, जिसको ब्लैक स्पॉट डिक्लेयर कर दिया गया है, क्योंकि बीएसएफ का तरफ से कहा जा रहा है कि इसी 20 जगह से मैक्सिमम इन्फिल्ट्रेशन का कोशिश और उसके साथ साथ स्मगलिंग का जो कोशिश वो दिखा दिया है। और इसका मेन कारण है क्योंकि ये जो 20 जगह, इस 20 जगह में जो बॉर्डर का फेंसिंग, वो बॉर्डर का फेंसिंग नहीं है, और इसी वजह से जिस जगह में फेंसिंग नहीं है उस जगह को मार्क करते हुए बीएसएफ की तरफ से नया तरीके से फेंसिंग लगाने का जो काम, वो काम चालू कर दिया गया है। मगर दूसरी तरफ बीएसएफ की तरफ से जब फेंसिंग लगाने का काम चालू किया गया है, इसको लेकर ही अभी जो तनाव का माहौल ये तैयार हो चुका है भारत और बांग्लादेश दोनों देशों के बीच में, क्योंकि मालदा में और कोचबिहार में जब बीएसएफ की तरफ से बॉर्डर में फेंसिंग लगाने का जो काम वो किया जा रहा था, उसी टाइम पर बीजीबी यानी बॉर्डर गार्ड ऑफ बांग्लादेश, उनकी तरफ से ये काम को रोक दिया गया है और उनकी तरफ से साफ कहा गया है कि बॉर्डर में कोई किसी भी तरीके का फेंसिंग नहीं लगा दिया जाएगा। अगर कोई लगाने का कोशिश करेगा तो डायरेक्टली गोली चलाया जाएगा, ऐसा हुमकी भी बीजीबी की तरफ से दिया गया है। ऐसा मालदा का जो विलेजर्स है उनकी तरफ से कहा जा रहा है। दो दिन से लगातार बीएसएफ की तरफ से फ्लैगशिप मीटिंग किया जा रहा है बीजीबी के साथ। बीएसएफ और बीजीबी का जो जवान अभी तक करीब 7 के ऊपर फ्लैगशिप मीटिंग कर चुके हैं, मगर अभी तक जो तनाव का सिचुएशन वो कंप्लीटली सिक्योर नहीं हुआ है, वो कंप्लीट अभी तक नहीं हुआ है। अभी भी इस मामले का जो सल्यूशन अभी तक नहीं निकला है, और इसी वजह से कोचबिहार और उसके साथ मालदा दोनों जगह का ही जो बॉर्डर का जो फेंसिंग लगाने का जो काम वो अभी भी बंद करके रखा गया है।
All right, Renik, thank you for adding these details and giving us more information in this regard. In fact, as now our